Tease me, tease me, tease me, tease me, baby. Please me, please me, please me, please me, baby. Come on, girl. Just come on, girl. Just come on, girl. Just come on, girl. Let's go. Hey. I know, real bad guys. I said, we've adopted him. You know what? Like we see him, he's got potential. I don't want to have to cut this off, but we got places to be, people to see, things to do, innit? And I think it's integral, yeah, for this conversation, if we're going to talk about different type of stars, galaxies, and all them thing there, to do it properly. And this song is the perfect intro song. This is the real intro now, people. We've been building it up. Suspense is there. Please take this in.
It makes sense.
I come prepared, even in the times I'm not prepared. Ladies, for the girl, get me. Sing it.
You had to put the hat on. You had to put the hat on.
Yeah, baby.
No.
Hey, spotlights, big stage, seeming get away. Bodyguards and limousines. This is the way I see you in my dreams. Paparazzi fan, 100 pictures of you. My bedroom wall, I'm a kid. I feel like. Aye, if you know the hook, sing it loud. Cause I'll be your groovy baby.
You are my superstar.
Yeah.
Number one fan. Yes. I'll be a groupie, baby.
Come on.
Cause you are my superstar.
Superstar, yeah.
Your number one fan.
It's Usher, so I'm gonna let it play a little more.
To show you how super you are.
High note time, Jerry. Hit that. Your pretty face one more time.
At least it was in sync. I like that. It was good.
It's a metaphor. I'll be your groupie, baby. This is a nice intro. And people, we're inside. You understand what I'm saying? It's the big, bad, the greatest podcast in the whole entire world. I'm going to repeat that again. The biggest, the baddest, the greatest, the most experienced podcast in the whole universe. I said it, I meant it. I said it with chest.
What message?
Chest. So you know I'm serious. You understand what I'm saying? It's the Experimentation podcast, people.
Yeah.
And we've had an amazing week.
We've had a good week.
A great week. And there's so much stuff that we want to get into, but I'm going to first introduce myself. It's the boy L Ants RBG. RBG, red, black, and green with Dessa with Dede. Grand Verbalizer LA. LL Cool A. It's the Natty Dread. And makes your girl affy fled. It's mad, we're out here. And we're stepping in clean, precise, proper. I'm with the man them, man. And the man them are here. Everyone's looking drippy today. Everyone's coming out Shelly.
We're trying.
Who is right in front of me? Sir, tell the people them who you are.
Hey, the smoothest voice from the west side.
The smoothest voice from where?
One time, man. They don't need to know. Just one time.
Them.
Yeah, I make music. I write stories.
What else?
And we're podding today, guys.
We're podding.
We're podding today.
That's a new one. We're podding.
I go by the name of Jerry the Kid.
AKA
Return of the Kid.
Come
on.
And to the left of me, we have a man that never stops working. He's
Never.
big heavy. He's so weighty in this game. You say his name, people tremble or they get excited. They're like, raw, you know J10. You know J10. I said, yeah, I know J10. I know J10. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. And I tell you, just finished filming. He's back filming again. He has cameras. The guy is known everywhere around the world. He was just in another country working. The rate's high.
I was working and enjoying.
Dude, both.
At the same time.
No, he's like this. No, this one, he's like this. And then like this.
Bro, big man thing. Even when we was outside the other day, bro.
He's working.
Working.
When I tell you, you might have seen him at Notting Hill Carnival doing this. Working and enjoying at the same time. It's the man, the undisputed champion of videography. Is J10 J10. He don't beg no friend.
Hey, Baskity.
And before we carry on, I forgot to say, it's me, man. LA.
The one and only.
And it's only right to begin this episode here with people them like and subscribe.
Come on.
Don't be a thief. As the people on TDA say, don't be a thief.
As soon as you saw this video was out, you should have liked, commented, let
subscribe.
us know.
Everything Rasta. You see what I say?
I'm saying.
So let's start with our week. What happened this past week, man, them?
A lot has happened.
And there's certain stuff we can't say.
Not now.
But a lot of great stuff has been happening.
Nah. Actual important stuff.
Yeah.
We won't mention.
We won't mention yet because we won't make sure it happens here, innit? But on Thursday, Big EXP stepped out as a collective, as the man them, and we touched an amazing event, the Koji Radical Show.
Boy.
Headline show in our Brixton.
Come on.
Man them, your thoughts on the show, please.
Southside of that London.
Come on.
It was lovely. It
We
was
had a-
actually...
You came down from West.
West.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nah, it was lovely still. I mean, I didn't know what to expect exactly because I've never been to a Koji show. But seeing the clips and knowing him as like an artist, a performer, I was like, yeah, it could be one of those nights where I'm like,
One of
I'm
them
taken
ones.
aback and I'm like, wow. And yeah, man, I was blown away.
That happened.
It was amazing.
It was that.
Like,
He was
his set
amazing.
list- obviously, I'm not too versed with like his stuff before Reason to Smile. I know a couple like tunes here and there,
I didn't know anything.
but
before
even
then.
coming out and performing it, I was like, yo,
The confidence, the swag, the humbleness. He was on superstar timing, people, and I'm
was on Superstar
I'm linking it
timing,
back.
and he was-
Don't worry about
he
it.
liked it. Yeah, kind
He was
of.
late.
He was supposed to come on at 9. He came on a bit
Like
late.
10 past 9. That's superstar timing. But I think he was just making sure everything was just proper. I think he just wanted to get every nook and cranny perfect.
That's how I think he thinks as well. Like just listening to that album and like how he sort of comes across. He's very much like he talked about like his, battle with like mental health and, his sort of like thought process into how he like,
100.
does his stuff. And
Yes.
it's like, I would think that he was like, oh, okay, cool. I want to make sure that these are having a good time.
100.
And then at the same time, I want to make sure everything that with my side is patterned so that when I come out, nothing can go wrong. Everything is
Yeah.
perfect. Like that sort of like perfectionist thinking, but at the same time,
Meticulous. That's the
wants
word
to
I
make
wanna
sure
say.
that everyone is having a good time.
I would say Andy wants to have a good time.
Yeah,
100.
100%.
I was going to use the word meticulous, painstaking. Every nook and cranny was investigated. And that show there, I'm not going to say it was perfect, but it was amazing. I had an amazing time. All of us had an amazing time. Payback for me was the moment of the
When
night.
he came back and done that.
One more, we were saying one
Yeah.
more song. And he
Yeah.
came and I was like, it had to be that. Oh, God, it had to be that song.
No, but because we all knew that he was gonna come back. and do
Yeah,
that
had
song.
to. It's,
I kept.
Couple man started walking away.
They left.
They liked. I kept telling, oh look, bro, he's coming back. He's doing that one song.
Yeah.
I was like, yo. Yeah. When the band are still there, until then, I'm
and the
not
band
leaving.
fooled us.
And then the band,
Big up the
went
band.
off.
The band fooled us.
And then I said, oh, when the lights go off, that's when we can go in.
Yeah.
The lights didn't go off.
And then it went shoo, and then I said, yeah, it's that time.
He's coming
But
back.
honestly, the set list, the design, the one takeaway for me that was bad, just to be balanced, was the sound for us wasn't the best. It was a bit piercing. So it was a bit loud in terms of the band. I think it could have been mixed better. And that has, in terms of Koji, that's got nothing to do with Koji. He sounded clear.
Do you think it
Go on.
might have been to do with where we were in terms of?
That's probably it, you
I
know.
don't think so.
Are you
I don't
sure?
think so. Because we were saying from the jump, the vocals compared to what the monitors were giving out.
It was imbalanced, bro.
But
It
we
wasn't
were on the
balanced.
side as well. So bear in mind, the monitors are also there, and it's not directional, but it's
They're all coming out of one thing, which is the monitors.
Yeah,
Okay, no, yeah.
The vocals are coming out of
A different monitor, yeah.
the front PA system or whatever.
So it's all coming out the same thing.
Same thing. And obviously, it's a live band. Of course, it's going to be, because there's so many different instruments, of course, it's going to be louder than the one vocal. But his voice is clear. His rapping on stage was immaculate. Fast rapping. He nailed every syllable. Like Koji and the guest blood. Want to talk about stars or the gas? Cash came out, and Born was the moment as well. Shelled it down, and they looked so happy together because, as he said on stage, he's been touring with Cash. Cash has come to almost every festival and tore it down with him.
I liked what he was doing. He was bigging up the people that came through and that did the songs with him as well. Like before they walked off set, Stockton was like, "Yo, guys, take this guy in.
Yeah.
Like appreciate.
He's
them
a
the way I
really good
appreciate
entertainer, you know. You
He
could
is.
tell.
No, very much so.
The show was amazing. We had a great time. Good opening acts as well. Sam Wise killed it. Yeah. Big up Sam Wise too.
Yeah,
Sam
man.
Wise showed it. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I've never seen your face before. No disrespect. When he came
Oh
out,
yeah, no. It was like 2 songs before he came off here. I had to tell him, yo, that's Sam Wise. He said, oh, is it? I was
I'm like,
what?
he's hard. Yeah. No, you showed it too. Everyone did their job. The band, the backing, the beefies,
Oh, the
blood.
beefies.
Are you mean?
Big up them.
What's her name? Let's find out her name.
Yeah, please as well. Names of the band if we can. Honestly, it was amazing.
Because she was going.
She was going ham.
Sensational.
And Tiana Major 9 is a big singer. So if you can cover her and make yourself sound good like she can, you're a singer, bro.
She did that.
And she defo did that. 150%. So now, hold tight the team, hold tight Koji. Thanks for the invite.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah. Also, hey, if you was at the show as well, let us know what you thought.
Big up your chest.
No,
Never
let us
small.
know what you thought.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
as well.
Yeah.
Big-
Defo.
100%.
If they were there, they didn't say hello.
Word. Because we're outside.
What's going on?
We're outside.
was outside.
Beautiful, resplendent face is here, man. His beautiful, resplendent face is here, man. We're
I
all
was
here.
there.
All of
I was
us
there.
are leng. Come approach us properly. You understand?
Please.
You understand? But yeah, hold tight Nux as well. The payback verse.
Oh.
Wait, my brother, you showed it, bro.
Yo, nah. When he came out, I said,
Oh yeah, Mumsy was there. As well.
Yeah, big up,
Big up, Mumsy.
Mummy Radical, fam. She got the big up. Everyone was gassing her. She must have been just overwhelmed with joy.
she was a very integral part of the album, and then just like the actual like set as well. Like,
honestly, we had a good time, man. And I just genuinely, I felt it just overwhelming. And just his reaction afterwards, just him coming on stage for me and just being literally over. He looked like he was about to break down and cry at the start. He just looked so overwhelmed. I'm like, bro, you deserve this. You put in 10 years of work. And honestly, Koji, big up yourself.
words.
And
Nah, for real.
he gave a superstar performance. And today, on one of the greatest podcasts in the whole entire world, we're here to talk about musical superstars. Superstars in rap, and we can extend the conversation to superstars in music. So this initially started off, from a tweet from a member of arguably the greatest label of the past 10 years, TDE.
Okay.
The man Punch. You lot know Punch. And if you don't know Punch, he's an integral part of some of the greatest records in TDE, the Kendrick records, Absol. You know what I mean? Like, he's an integral part of that roster. He was the hardest. So Punch asked a question on Twitter. He typed, I'm curious, who are the next superstars in rap? Question mark. So I've put that into the air now. I want to ask you lot to answer that question.
The next superstars in
Not
rap.
names. How does someone become the next superstar in rap? I'm going to literally go through. There's more. No, I'm going to get to it. I was literally just saying. So that's the first question. Just give me a short answer for that, and then I will go back into the rest of what he said.
Oh, okay, cool.
As in the facets that you need.
Literally 3. That's there's more.
On the basically on the tweet.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 tweets, but just starting with each tweet and just going through it, right?
How many? I don't know how many like bodies of work that you need to have to actually put out, but
More than one.
oh yeah. More
We're
than
gonna
one.
get to that. More
More
than
than one for sure. I say like your live shows need to be like
Just like Koji's live
up
show.
there. It needs to be like that.
It needs to be lit, creative, on point, mic position, breath control. This is superstar shit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. The first thing for me I was gonna say was like the numbers, like in terms of attendance, it's gotta be levels, bro.
And that's a point we need to get
It's
to
gotta be
because
levels.
numbers is important,
Numbers is very,
and
very
numbers are relative. So with that, let's move on to his next point. He said, "Nah, I'm not asking who your favorites are." Or who's starting to scratch the surface. I'm asking who has a legitimate shot at being the next superstar. And that's important because people often equate to who their favorite MC is or who the best technically is. That's not the question. Superstardom doesn't have nothing to do with that. It has something to do with that, but not enough for it to be superstardom. Superstardom in a field means that you're not just the best, you're the most marketable, right? So cool. Punch then goes on to say, wait, who are the current superstars in rap? Post Kendrick, post Cole, post Drake, post Nicki. and it got everyone into a frenzy.
Mm.
It got into a frenzy. And Punch, as he likes to do, as the absolute workhorse visionary he is, disappeared. Didn't say nothing else after that. But that tweet is important because those 4 names have ran a whole decade. Doesn't matter what you think of them. They are the 4 names synonymous with the 2010s. Their music shaped people's childhoods and lives. Do you understand? So these names are titans of hip hop. They will die today, God forbid, and will be mentioned as hip hop icons and legends. Doesn't matter what you feel about any of the 4 of them. You can't debate Nicki, you can't debate Drake, you cannot debate Kendrick, and you can't debate Cole. So he's asking, who are the current superstars in rap? And the thing that inspired this conversation for me was the Joe Budden podcast, episode 512. And I had to say the actual...
This guy knows, every bit.
Now that's important, you know, because people are gonna want to go back and reference.
Go
it
back
as well.
and watch the episode.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the episode. The initial clip is Cardi B a superstar because they focused in on a big name and is she a superstar? And there was a contentious debate because Joe, who has experience in the music industry, as much as people like to go, I've only got pump it up. Joe has been in the music industry for 20 years. He's worked in radio before. He's worked at labels before. So regardless of the pump it up thing, and he had other songs that were hits like Focus and let me just make, what's that song called? Fire. Other songs that went big, plus an independent career. So Joe is experienced in the industry. So, big up Joe Budden. The metrics of superstardom he's saying is his words are album sales, marketability, stopping the road. If you see, the reason I played the song Superstar to intro this year was to say that the stuff that Usher is talking about in the song, spotlights, big stage, 50,000 fans screaming, those are the tangibles of a superstar.
You know when he started saying superstars in intro, that's when I clocked why you played that shot.
Is that?
I
knew.
I played 3 songs off of Wizkid's debut album called what? Rate My Ting, man.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were gonna spin into
Rate
it.
My Ting.
But
Rate My Ting. So we're here to build today, right?
Yeah.
So that's the metric he said. His co-host argued and said, no, it's about how famous you are. And that's where the point is. So I want to ask you gentlemen, what do you consider a superstar? Which in music? Because Punch's question is in rap.
Uh-huh.
So let's start off in rap and in music. What makes a musical superstar to you lot?
What makes a musical superstar?
What tangibles? Because I'm going to go through mine because they're listed, but I want to hear yours first.
I mean, other than the ones I've mentioned, if you've got like a fan base that are say the way like Nicki Minaj has got the Barbs, you know what I'm saying?
Loyal.
Loyal fan base that are on your Instagram page, on your Twitter, riding and dying for you. That there is a staple because you could be off for let's say months. And if you've not got people that are like, where's the music coming from? What's happening? What's going on? If you've not got the fan pages that are like checking your every move when you're not making music, what you're doing, it's as if you're not really there, essentially.
I agree with you. That makes a lot of sense. And you please, JJ?
The definition of superstar on Google is a superstar is someone who has a great popular appeal and is widely known, prominent, or successful in their field. Celebrities referred to as superstars may include individuals who work as actors, musicians, athletes, and or other media-based professions.
Thank you for bringing up the Google. That's important. I think the important thing about on point, top producer, top. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, Punch's question was very specific. He said in what? Rap. In rap.
Okay, cool.
And this is where the contention came between Joe and his co-host, because Joe's co-host was saying Cardi and Meg are superstars. Joe disagreed with him and said, hold on, Cardi's got 1 album. They said, but she's got diamond singles. Nah. Because in music implies that your music is the reason for your superstardom, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, she did, yeah.
Cardi B, for me personally, and Bardi Gang, is it Bardi Gang? Bardi Gang, don't attack me. This is just an objective opinion. And plus, I don't care.
No. That's Nicki's Barbs, and she's got Bardi Gang.
Bardi Gang,
That's so close to each other.
yeah.
It's fairly close. Yeah, I can't lie. It's fairly close.
I ain't saying nothing. To me personally, I agree with Joe that Cardi B is not a musical superstar because she's not sold enough records album-wise. Her music hasn't shifted culture in the same way that her personality has. She's a personality superstar.
Yeah.
She's got, for example, she started on where?
You actually just walking up.
Love and hip hop, and people fell in love with Cardi. Yeah, and she grinded her way through her personality. Yeah, so that's a grind, and she did her thing in that regard. I don't personally have to disagree or agree with whatever she was doing to make it. She made it. That's a separate conversation. Yeah. What I'm talking about now is her superstardom stems from her being relatable to other people, right?
It's the reality TV aspect of what she's been
It's
doing.
not about her music and her craft. And I'm not saying you have to be the greatest at your craft to be a superstar, you know. Some of the greatest artists in the world don't make anywhere near the superstars. It's the marketability of your music. Because we got to see what her second project does. Joe said, in my world, we didn't even acknowledge people who didn't have more than one album. I disagree with him, though, and he's being biased because Biggie had one album. And Biggie was most certainly, to me, a musical superstar. I don't think you can debate that. During the time he was alive, Biggie rolled like a superstar. He held the mic like he was on the Bad Boy veneer. He was on all the remixes, superstar. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was presented like a superstar.
I think everything that he was doing in terms of like his stardom was surrounding music.
And the records he sold are crazy. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's why I think it is a thing of record sales plus impact. How long does your music last? Because I think the Cardi B's music, that's why you can put Nicki Minaj there. Because her music she's shaped a whole generation of women. I've seen it with my own eyes. I went to Wireless, hold tight Ags. I went to Wireless with Ags. And a whole generation of women came together and sang every word that woman sang. They sang bees in the every what they hung on her every word. Was it bees in the trap? This woman can say she's got nonsense. I think she actually sang Starships as well, and they sang it. The woman had the crowd in the palm of her hand. She went. This is a superstar.
No, you know what? I fully agree because Beyonce is a superstar.
That's not even a discussion.
I remember when my sister went to see Beyonce, them lot were queuing up.
Different. Round the block queue.
Beyonce weren't there till whatever time. They are standing in that.
100.
They get there early, they camp out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's not as if, you see how we turned up to Rose, you know what I'm saying? We can just go in.
Yeah. It would never ever be. And it's at Wembley, that's so it's 90,000 people already. And there's people queuing around the block. That's over 100,000 people, right? Exactly. Yeah. It's a different conversation. So it's not disrespecting an artist's art because there's enough artists that I think are better musically than the superstars, but the superstars speak for themselves. The reason I brought up the 50 Cent point during our conversation about R&B is about what did you sell? Who was you competing with? That is important.
Context.
If you sell Diamond amongst Ludacris, Ja Rule, you're the guy because they're heavy hitters. If you sell 200,000 and you're not with nobody, it's not bad. It just don't look the same. And a different era. And I understand. I'm taking into account the TikTok. They also moved on to Meg. And is Meg a superstar? Again, Joe said no. No, because the brand deals are being set up for her by her label. And as much as we're gonna talk about people like Travis Scott, Travis Scott was on his way to becoming a superstar. That thing held him back. Through his own doing and his team and whatever. But part of the reason he's in that jam is because guess what? Travis Scott is a superstar. That stuff that happens where people rush the crowd and go rush to the stage happens at Michael Jackson shows. Prince shows.
Yeah, it's true.
That don't happen at no normal show, brother.
Especially, God rest his soul, but imagine when MJ had his tour where he was sending out the O2. How many dates was it?
Seven.
7 dates.
And that's light work for Mike. Because he used to do Wembley religiously. People fainted at Michael Jackson shows, bro.
I've seen the clips, yeah.
Fainted. That's a superstar. As in you, again, God rest his soul. He couldn't walk the street.
Yeah.
That's superstardom. And thing is, in terms of the internet and this phone, yeah, it's taken away some of that star power to it.
Because I think a lot of popular, famous, and superstars
Are too accessible.
Yeah.
Far too accessible.
That's it.
And that's what it is.
Accessible era now.
And that's what it is. And that's Punch's point of the music isn't lasting long enough. And the internet is making everything so it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think those metrics are important. Do you lot have stuff to add before I go into laying down metrics? There's a person that wrote a little blog, and I think they gave pretty good metrics of what a musical superstar has.
I was gonna ask you before about
Go on.
because you mentioned Cardi
Yes, and
having
Meg.
only the one album out so far.
She got 3 diamond singles though. I'll give her that, but that's still not superstardom because that's
Is
in
it-
the streaming era.
What about her jumping on, like featuring for other artists, doing remixes for other people's songs as well, like those kind of things where I can't think of a moment like that she's come on a track and it's been like, wow, like that's crazy. But if she's all doing that and she's building it up, because she probably has a lot more than I can even think of.
Mhm.
I don't personally follow Cardi, so I can't say how much she has,
Yeah,
and I don't know if you do either. But
she's been quiet recently because obviously she's had a child, and that you got to take that into account. Not really, you know what I mean? She's been taking a break from the music, and she's got so much business going on elsewhere. She doesn't need to
She
rap.
does a lot.
She doesn't need
does
to
a
rap,
lot.
and that's the thing. A lot of the rappers of today either don't want to rap. That's why Nas is my goat. Nas is in his 40s, shelling down everything with business, gets bored.
Why
Like,
do rappers not just rap no more?
because
Like, we have to now even just having rappers just turning up to somewhere and just rapping.
yeah, it's a shame, innit? It's not the same no more. Cause
Do you know that back in the day, people would just rap
Because there's a passion for it, yeah.
Am I getting that bread or
that's exactly what it is, bro.
what's the
You're
thing
right.
coming out after that? Do you know what I'm saying? No one's just there to
To rap for the sake of rapping.
rap.
Mm.
Do you get it?
You're right.
I mean, the art has been lost for like a while now, hasn't it? Because of probably just the. No, I mean, there's a lot to it, but I say what I was thinking of firstly was like the image of what being a rapper is distorted now, because it's also you get into rapping, you get into the lifestyle, then you get into the brand deals, the commercials, then you get into I don't know, like acting. People who got the natural jump from being a superstar or a superstar rapper
He's going into
into
acting.
acting.
That's been like that from
It's
But
been like
I
that
say
from
it's
back
different.
day.
I think it's
but
different.
changed over time now, hasn't it?
Because
no, but back
go on.
I was gonna say back in the day it was art.
Yeah.
They were actually the ones that were rappers and the ones that turned to actors were actually good actors. As
Was
well.
a natural progression for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pac was definitely one. But
Park was
Uh-huh.
the first probably. He was
said he had to
on
do
the first.
acting as well. I remember there was an interview I was saying that he was learning the acting.
Like classes and
He
stuff.
used to go drama school, bro. He went drama school before he rapped, so he had it naturally inclined anyway. So what I'm saying, the thing is about the rappers, Tupac is one, 50, Ja Rule, Ludacris. They were superstar musicians before they ever stepped onto a screen. Their musical persona likeness was worth multi-million dollars before they ever stepped in front of a camera. That is the difference. Now people can do a YouTube video and have their own channel and rap at the same
I was
time.
gonna say it was
Go on.
LL Cool J one as well.
LL Cool J is definitely
Yeah,
an
yeah.
early pioneer. He's the first artist signed to that's an icon. He's past superstar. He was a superstar at the birth of rap. You see the label Def Jam. He's the first artist signed to that label
First artist
ever.
Okay.
They put out his project first. He sold millions of records. Like LL's the guy. He's a hip hop pioneer. As in, apart from Grandmaster, Flash and the Furious 5, and the early lot, he's up there as one of the pioneers of hip hop. Do you understand what I'm saying? Icon before he stepped onto the screen. Yeah. That's
didn't know
what,
even
that's what I'm
thought
saying.
that's-
That's an icon before you step into a screen, before you get a brand deal. Today, artists who have great teams are already getting brand deals and haven't done the work musically. It's not their fault. It's the same thing. Us lot have discussed this before, where an artist gets a hit, underground hit or a TikTok hit, and they've been thrust onto stages. They've never performed a day in their life, you know. But now they're
You can
performing.
see it. You know, I see clips of these same artists. They go on the stage and it's kind of like, nah.
I'll say one. Ice Spice has been thrown into the limelight. She's not ready yet to perform. There's no artist development no more. That's the thing that's been missing out. There's no more artist development. That's why there's no more superstars, because there's no one.
One more time.
There's no more artist development, so there's no more superstars because they're not training people how to hold. You think you get Chuck Berry and them, man, just roll on stage like as a youth, just play it. No, they train how to do the superstar walk, the talk, how to carry yourself in interviews. It's all training. And you can adapt it like as you get older. For example, Nas and Jay-Z and all them lot now have their own style. But they still carry themselves as in they're not easily accessible. And that's what I'm saying. So I had a conversation last night in terms of a massive, iconic DJ in the DJ game. We were discussing the influence of hip hop. He obviously got. I also had a discussion, and he was trying to basically stop me from saying it had a negative influence. I was saying, bro, I'm not on violence and all these things. I'm not rap hip hop music. So I'm not saying it had the most influence. I'm saying it carries weight. So you understand? And he was like to me, there's more P's in the music than ever. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. And he said, these guys, you see Jay-Z, 50 don't move like that. I'm saying because they came from the era of superstars where you get protected. These labels nowadays are not protecting no artists, you know. Big one of that.
We were talking about that.
Of not protecting their artists like that.
Yeah.
And you can argue if that's purposeful or not purposeful. I'm not here to do that, and I'm not here to get into a lawsuit.
And the other thing is, because they're exactly what you're saying, they're investing the money into these artists. Yeah? They're going, the artists are coming straight from the ends.
Yeah.
Going into the limelight, all of this.
With
not even, like having a guidance or anything. So how do you think, my mentality last month, last year, however, and a year is not even a long time.
At all.
You could be doing what you're doing.
To be ultra famous.
Ultra famous and popular, but not know how to move. You need to have that within you. Someone needs to help you and guide you. And I feel like labels need to do more of that, because this is another reason why a lot of these artists are getting caught
slacking. Because it's the training and the thing of teaching them. It's about training the psychology, as in they all need therapists. They all need therapists. And get them a psychologist to say why you put so much pain in your music. What's behind it? Why? You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say something with the straight moving them out of the ends. There's something about that I mean, I don't know if it would be straight away, only because you're taking them out of an environment so quickly after they've now signed and blown and they're ready for superstardom. No, of course, but it's the environment that they've known and like just lived in for so long. That you've now taken them out and putting them in a place they don't recognize. They don't know anyone else around them. They'd be like, what's good? Like the thing we're talking about, that the psychology of it.
Yeah.
They've now got to adapt and at the same time maintain the stardom that they've gained without having
That's
any
a good
sort
point,
of influence.
mate.
They've now got to do at the same time.
You can move them. I think you got to put things in place to make them comfortable. Though.
That's
So gradual. So I agree with you. Move them.
No, it needs to happen.
I say move them, and I agree with definitely move them, but move them in and around their people, bring their friends, 100%. And it's a comfortability. Because otherwise, you can go mad that way, where you've been moved too quick, and now like, these people racist, they look at me like, and you start bugging. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Move with the right people. That's essential as well.
That's important
because not everyone can just come with you, and it's like, my peoples and that. Because
and then there's always the new people coming from the label and stuff. Like, you never know what their intentions are at the end of the day.
100%. I agree with you.
Exactly.
They're trying to get their little commission to say, I signed this, I signed that. Do you know what I'm saying? So you also got to be aware of them.
That's a good point as well. Yeah.
Because they've got the money, they're good at the big label.
And
they have fully good intentions for you.
Facts. And I just want to say, this superstar conversation is not an indication of the artistry. I just want to repeat this because superstardom is not artistry. So we're not saying this artist is better than that artist. I will take into account some of the superstardom is pushed by marketing and label. So artists can make or break superstars, innit? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just want to put that in there as a kind of disclaimer to not make it seem like that.
I think it's definitely more now though than back in the day.
What, as in being pushed?
Yeah, like labels.
Oh yeah, because bruv, I start have TikTok superstars, bruv. Man are not superstars, bro. That's why I came here and I said, okay, KSI's not. I'm not being bad, man. I'm saying
by even labeled like
by
TikTok
the metric.
superstars as superstars. It's just TikTok stars. I wouldn't say superstars like. I would only say it just to reference it as people know it as superstars.
Yeah. But I'm saying these are the facets that this person wrote down in this article. They haven't got a name. But anyway, marketable talent. So in music, It's not about who is necessarily the best. It's who's the most marketable in the current context that you're in. So, and times change in it of things that's acceptable and not acceptable. Do you understand? So that's one. Significant contributions. So as Punch said, like in a different tweet that I can't find now, when Michael Jackson moonwalked at Motown, that lasted decades, plural. Your grandma was talking about it. We're now talking about it. It's a mad thing.
Because he knew where it came from and he had to do that.
And it's a musical lineage. If you can attach yourself to a musical lineage, it makes you last longer. It's the same way in terms of right now. I'm going to reference it. On the same episode of the Joe Budden podcast, he called Vince Staples. If you lot don't know who that is, he's an artist, rapper, does a lot in it. So, and
From where?
Vince Staples is from Long Beach, California. Let me check it, actually. I think he's from Long Beach, California. Yeah, but he's an American rapper, very dope, very big, super underground following. So he's not mainstream, but he's done so much in terms of his business and as an MC of the underground. Yeah, from Compton, I think. Yeah. So cool. Joe called him and said, yo, this is making me remember whatever. He said an important point. Like the biggest songs of the last few years have been attached to things. So just think about the song, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, fuck that. That's attached to a political movement, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's other songs that are attached to different movements that have made them larger than life. That's almost making stars. And that point is essential, because we get to see now that labels are not breaking acts, bro. That's it's the worst kept secret in the music industry that everyone knows and people outside now know. Labels ain't breaking nobody, bruv. But it's weird because they have the control and the power. The streaming, is one of the best things that ever happened for them. I promise you. Because the transition definitely worked. Now they've worked it out. Now they've sussed it because we didn't suss it. Shook.
When streaming first came
Nah, because they
didn't know how to figure it out. And it was when the music industry was like at its low. It was in the mud.
It should have gone out of business.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the music industry should have got out, but because it's got such a heritage and infrastructure, it couldn't. But it should have gone out of business. Like between 2008 and like 2000. No, there's a period. Yeah, 2008 to about 2011, because 2012 was the resurgence. Take Care, Kendrick Lamar, everyone came back.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying came back like there was a wave of musicians that made music great again. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that lasted to about 2019. COVID is when it really hit, and you got 2 years of bad music. Listen to 90% of those COVID tracks. They're not mixed as well. They don't sound as good in speakers. There's no bottom end. As in, it's only now we're starting to get some balance. But even then, because people are still in the COVID state of mind of recording music, some of the records still sound like that.
How come that is that way? I mean, because I'm trying to think, in this era, like, we've got so much access to, like, technology where my man could record in a room, do
Like
his
in
thing,
his bathroom.
send it over.
But they're not doing that. A lot is what's happening, bro, is guys are recording tunes in their bathroom.
Yeah.
And putting it out. Just pre-dancehall. In dancehall,
No.
thousands of songs are released per year, yeah? Most of them are youths in their bedroom and their bathroom, voicing a thing on a rhythm that's not mixed and just flinging it out.
Quality-wise, I get what you're coming from.
The freestyle with my man, London GV, and I bust down, that started off as a freestyle, yeah? He only got signed, and when that got signed, the quality difference you hear, between the freestyle and what got put out is mad. You can tell there's P's behind it. Yeah, the P's, that's where the difference is in music. And that's the thing that makes a superstar. How much money is put into you and what you work with. There's very few independent superstars, bruv.
Yes. Nah, very, very.
Because even people who I love, like a Dave and a Stormzy, technically independent, seems to have label ties. So they're not truly independent.
I was you was going to say something else. I was like, wait.
Yeah, they're not truly independent in the way that we stereotypically. But you can't be in this era. I don't think so. I don't think it's possible to reach.
No.
I don't think so.
But
if you have a distributor, are you independent?
Yes, I think so. Because there's otherwise
it's a deal that works for you.
Otherwise, bro, no one's independent.
Say that again.
Otherwise, like if you don't have a major label distributor,
Nah, no, because I actually didn't hear when you said it.
no one is independent. This is the honest truth, really, of size. And then if we get lower down the rung, you're lower down the rung. Because I think it's important to understand the business of music, because music is a business. And as much as we love music as the music lovers, you have to include the business in there in these discussions. Uniqueness, staying power is an important one. How long are you here for? So the things you contributed are important. But how long were you here though? Like, was it a 5-year run? That's why I said in terms of the R&B episode again, I love Aaliyah, but how long was her run?
Important.
And that's why bare people flogged me for it, like on that episode. That's the point. And as harsh as that is, it was cut short. Same thing with Big. Like, I love Big, and he's one of my personal greatest rappers of all time. But if you were to do a list, are you going to now cut his run? Or is it like perspective, what he could have done?
I was about to say, then you have to say,
That's a never-ending
And
conversation.
that's why we get into it. Strength of character. I don't think that's important. Money.
Right, so I want to ask about.
Yeah,
like, stability in terms of the ones that we've talked about now. The ones we mentioned, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, and then what we also said about their body of work doesn't even define them now. It's more just like outside of music, like the stardom, the things that they've gone into now.
Big personalities.
And
marketability. Even in terms of Meg, yeah, the whole hot girl summer thing is a thing that's bigger than her.
Yeah.
And there's now lingo and phraseology and language that now dictates a whole behavior, or not even behavior, sorry, a whole subculture.
Uh-huh.
In terms of being outside, being like independent, being on like your own thing, that's what has been described to me as a hot girl summer. There's other definitions that are a little bit more flagrant that I will not say on camera. Zen L in the building. You get me? Them can't get me.
But nah, what I wanted to ask, if they were to live off of that, obviously we've said it before, they're not a musical superstar then, but would they still retain superstar status within that if they were living off of that?
Yeah, they're superstars outside of music. Meg and Cardi are both undeniable, undisputed superstars outside of music. I think that's important to state.
Do you think those examples can live off of that? Like, do you think their star will remain?
Outside of music, yeah. In music, no. Because Travis had the people them in McDonald's queuing round the block for a blood clot burger.
Yeah.
That's a superstar, bro.
I don't know what check he cut.
Yeah. And, bro, Fortnite. I'd never played Fortnite in my life, bro. But guess what I knew? And I'm not a Travis Scott fan. I knew Travis Scott was on there going crazy.
I heard.
And had the thing moving mad.
I heard.
Moving crazy. Is that not a superstar? You're on a game that's played by everyone and on it shedding and everyone is hearing you. And you know who's the next one who could have been? Which was, again, part of Joe's podcast. The Baby. And I'll not censor that if you want to censor that. The Baby was on his way to superstardom. The marketability, the smile, but he rapped his thing, innit?
Of him being a baby and blah.
Yeah.
The concept of what, sorry?
Like him perceiving himself as being a baby.
Which is very problematic, but that's another podcast. That's not for tonight. His marketability and his voice and all that is something that cuts through. So I think, I don't even think Dirk and them lot, he's probably the next, Dirk and Baby and them lot are probably the closest really.
Now,
But I don't know.
and even at a Dirk and Baby,
I don't think so.
What's holding it back for you?
Everyone is sounding like them. So their star power, they've got to start taking themselves away, and that's hard because in this era, such a double-edged sword. Like, you're here too much, we're tired of you. You're not here enough. Where are you? Where's the new music? You can't. Not that you can't win. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult to win, and that's the thing.
and then forget all that. What about your just sanity?
Yeah, because this phone drives me mad, and I'm not a superstar, bruv. Imagine them and their team handling all their messages. They see it, bruv. Artists see this shit, or if they don't, their team will tell them something. And that's why you see artists on certain interviews bug out sometimes because their team has told them some false information. Like, this boy here was chatting about you. These times, they've done 10 episodes good about you, you know. But the one thing that wasn't good, they said, yo, my man from this podcast or this interview said, and boom, boom, and now they've come there with an attitude because someone in their team has told them something negative. They ain't told you about the 20 times you was bigging them up, you know, or just being balanced.
That's a lot for them. And then they have to be on their socials at sort of putting on a face, making sure
Yeah.
that, you know, they're talking to their fans, making sure that, you know, I'm good, guys, everything's all right.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
This is why I get Nicki now. Before I didn't get, I'm like, why are you responding to everything? You're Nicki Minaj.
I
get her now. A lot of her. I'm not saying I agree with some of that behavior she does, but I get her.
You know, every time I've seen her in an interview or just her talking outside of her doing her music thing, it's like she looks tired. I don't know if it's
She's
just...
got to respond to everything.
I'll be bloody tired.
Yeah,
I would be tired too.
But
It looks like she's just like,
Hard
you lot
work.
aren't respecting me. I've been in this game for this long.
And I'll admit, Barbs, I was one of them people.
Me
Man.
too. I
I
can't
won't
lie.
respect
I
it.
think we did an episode and I said something mad. And
Nah.
I take it back.
It's
Whatever
not-
it was, it wasn't.
I'm not even taking it back. I'm saying that more so I saw with my own eyes what it was. This is a generation of women.
Have you seen her live? Sorry,
Yeah,
to cut you.
yeah.
That's what you was talking about.
Wireless,
You saw
bro.
her about
I was
wireless.
with Ags. That's what made it. I said this now makes sense. A whole
He
generation of
called
women are
me-
shaped by this
I
woman.
think he called me because
a couple days afterwards,
Yeah, a couple days afterwards, and he was on the phone with me, and he was the way he was going through it. I said, "Oh,
like stage
It's
presence.
like a wave, innit? So like if you yourself is on stage and then you see how the reaction is.
It's not just the reaction though.
It's like a wave.
Yeah, 100%. You're right.
The audience would do it.
Huh?
It's just literally.
It's mesmerizing. Yeah, bro. I hear what you're saying because I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying though. Be mad. No. I hear you because it's
I
like
want to hear you say yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone.
cool and they make you do. That's why music is so powerful. That's why I refuse to dignify response to say music has no effect. Because when artists do good things, me are the most influential. Me sing Clarks, they sing. But now it's negative being attached to your influence. You don't want to claim it all of a sudden. Don't do that. Like, you have a positive and a negative influence. That's a fact. If boys are wearing Clarks because of you, because you sing about Clarks, that's an influence. If they're now busting their gun because they heard you, it's not like, oh, I'm going to play cartel, I'm going to bust my gun. It's what's the backdrop of everything happening? What's in my consciousness? What's in my subconscious? That's more important, you know. What's in my subconscious? Because 95% of your behavior is dictated by your subconscious. You're not even consciously thinking about it. And that's superstardom too. How much ears can you get to the youth then? What can you make people do? Nicki Minaj shut down London, bruv. She's from New York. She had the people them queuing like
She's not even from the ends.
like foolish people.
Like a what?
I'm saying she had them queuing and mad like foolish people if like to the untrained ear and eye. But if you're someone who gets the superstardom thing, that the Beatles was on that, even though I'm not a fan of their music, I don't think they were good at all. They were very basic. But Michael Jackson, Prince, that's what the man them were doing. Luther Vandross is another superstar. Shut roadblock, bro. If you're not blocking the road when you come to a thing, you're not really a superstar, bro.
You're not. I wanted to ask you, lot, because
Go on.
how I brought this conversation on and what inspired me to like want to also talk about it was a couple months ago, or maybe even just a month ago. Meg Thee Stallion, her show, the London show,
And we
was
spoke
announced.
about it, yeah.
We spoke about it. I brought it on the chat because I got the emails from like Ticketmaster about all the shows that are happening. Or I think it was on her Instagram. I saw that. Then I got the email like a week after or something. I put it on the chat, and then you put on the chat as well. You got the same email. And I was asking about the venue.
Did it come up on your ads?
Oh no. I know.
I
what yours
didn't
was.
get the same email. But
You
I
got a different email. You got a different email.
Don't talk about the email I got.
I ain't gonna talk about
but
it.
I got a different.
You got a different email.
I got the ads.
Yeah, I got the ads. And when I saw the venue, I was asking you lot like, oh, is this the type of venue that she should be doing, or should she be doing like?
She should be doing more.
Supposedly, because I think you said that, and then you said supposedly she should be doing more.
According to how she's presented by Rock Nation and her labels and everything, and how she's spoken about, she should be doing more. That's a fact.
Because then I went on to, okay, cool, it's been announced, and I don't know what it was, what I said afterwards, but my thought process was, okay, these things get announced, big artists like this, normally it will happen, and then it will get sold out quickly. Then they announced that. That didn't happen for her.
Didn't. And let's put this into perspective. She performed at the same venue Koji did.
Hey.
No.
No. It's context.
It's context.
Purely context. I'm not coming for her. I'm just saying.
I don't need to come for Meg. I'm saying Meg.
I'm saying for me.
Meg in
My
terms
brand.
of yeah. I'm pretending me.
My
You
brand.
can rap yourself.
My brand. No, I didn't even say.
Meg can rap her ass off. No pun intended. Yeah, she can rap so good. but her choice of beats, the same type of flows, like she's doing herself a disservice. That's an honest opinion. She's an amazing rapper. She's the best out of all of them. Most of them can't really rap, if we're being honest. Same in terms of nothing the man them two can't really rap and go. But Meg can rap. This is strictly a conversation of superstardom because Meg is presented like as a superstar, right? As
Yeah.
among the 1 or 2 top ladies in the game. Is Nicki, Cardi, Meg. That's 3 names everyone puts at us as like the Trinity, even though in fact, let me not get into that. But the 3 of them are positioned as the top 3, right?
Yeah.
That venue is 5,000 people, you know.
Did she even sell it out?
See, and then my other thing was the date that she announced and the time that I got the email, it was mad close. And I think it was just announced that time. So I looked at it and I thought, whoa.
Or the other thing it could be she's not actually getting the money from the show. Someone has paid, like a promoter has paid, so maybe it's was it a promoter's thing? Because I also remember it wasn't from her page that I saw this advertisement.
You got it from
that.
that.
Announced on her page as well.
It was both, because the whole way, like, I was asked to kind of get involved was through one of the UK, not to say promoters of the concert, but you know what I mean?
The agents, I know.
Somebody that's pushing the music. So, yeah and no. So I think you're right in what you're saying, but I think it's a bit more complex than that. So, yeah. And I think that's not a disservice to Meg's music. It's just to say that the matter of fact is the metrics of superstardom, she doesn't hit. It doesn't change now because we're in a new era. I'm sorry. Like.
And what was around that time as well?
What, show-wise?
Yeah,
that's important, actually.
Festival-wise. Because remember when Meek came out of prison, he was able to come to the UK. And he did Wireless,
Which was 2021, right? Because I was there, yeah.
Wireless. He was also supposed to have his own wireless show.
And it didn't happen.
How come?
See, alright. This is controversial. This is controversial, yeah. Because there's legitimate reasons why shows get cancelled, and then there's stuff fed to the public.
Oh, man.
And realistically, if we're being honest, this ain't about Meek, by the way. I'm just putting a distinction. This is about artists in general. Huh?
I blame Priya Patel.
Yeah. We blame her! Fucking idiot! We blame her! Anyway, and there's reasons to do with, again, this is not directed at Meek solely, this is genuinely just artists in general. Sometimes you didn't sell out the thing. And as a superstar artist, I'll say another one. I'm not going to say his name just because it's bait, and the person that told me said, don't say that, you know. But there's a massive dancehall, legend, icon in dancehall that didn't sell out their UK show and is not coming no more. Work it out in the comments.
So the thing about that is also, it's not just, even though...
Yeah, it's not just that. So there can be, as I said, there's legitimate reasons.
I was going to ask why they couldn't come.
Yeah. I think like even the setup and...
I was going to ask about their team as well. Like the people behind it are just making things wrong. Cause
I feel like that's industry. There's something to do with the industry. And
you're 1,000% right, you know.
You know what I'm saying? And how they're maneuvering. Because at the end of the day, if they don't want you to be 1 to 10, they will make sure. You're not 1 to 10.
Is it to do with the content that he was talking as well? Because there was a lot of stuff that was very much anti-industry. There was anti-industry stuff in that.
We're going to put today. Fuck this. Yes. I think so. I personally believe so. I personally believe that. I personally believe the stuff he spoke about on that album was revolution. I'm not just saying this to big up Koji. Revolutionary. Man, no, I can't think of another artist, Kendrick aside, and even on Kendrick's album, there's some stuff in there that's contentious.
But they can't. I feel like with Kendrick, they can't.
He's too big now.
Yeah.
Too big now.
But I think with Koji, it's like they still have that power over him. Because he's I don't know. The UK is just a very different thing.
It's too small, bruv. You know what it is? Because we're all so small, we all know each other, and we're all, my man's down the road from him, and it's very, we all, brother, we all know each other. I don't care what anybody says. We all, this is what I say in terms of UK celebs and everything. We all know a man that's famous. Or not even famous, or just knows a man. For example, there's bare people who know me through, by virtue of who I met, will say, oh, I can know such and such and such. Like, I just don't tell people this information. Yeah. Because everyone is too accessible. Yeah. This is why, even though I do talk my mind on this pod, I don't get too flagrant with it. because everyone's accessible and you have to go outside at some point. And that's what stops our thing from progressing. Because in terms of America, like, yes, they're accessible, but it is a bit different. You gotta go to a man's state to actually seek trouble with him. And that's a flight, that's a journey.
A mad journey.
And the thing is, I'm not just talking about on the street level. I'm talking about even on the corporate level of like, man, it's gonna sound controversial again. Man need to come to London to bus. Sorry to be that guy. You need to come. You can't. It's not like in the States now that you don't need to go to New York no more.
Like people in Brum, you're probably getting. Like if you're in London, 10 man can bust in that year. If you're in Brum, maybe 1 or 2 man can bust in that year.
And you need to do a London radio tour too.
Yeah,
you think you can avoid London?
Yeah, regardless.
Oh, yeah.
You can't come and see you.
Americans, they still got to an extent. They still got to end up going to New York.
But they don't have to if they don't want
I know
to.
they don't have to.
But they still do it anyway.
But to capitalize.
Yeah, 100. I agree that.
They're gonna do that run.
Because there's business there. But I'm saying in terms of London is unavoidable for producers, for radio, for podcasts. Like most of the biggest stuff is based here. I can't think of anything that's based in Brum, bro. No, and I'm not being disrespectful. Like there's artists who are massive who have shifted culture over there, but I can't think of any massive like, can you guys think of anything super apart from like a carnival or something? That's different.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I'm trying to think of something.
What is Park Life? But that's Manchester, isn't it?
That's the one exception.
Park Life. I'd say that.
And that's big. So I will never diss the Park Life thing because if you perform on Park Life, price starts there.
It is. I heard this, man. I heard this.
Hey, yo, allegedly.
I
know it is. I've seen it, man.
We can even talk about where it can get to in the next decade in terms of the requirements or the parameter within each sort of facet of what makes a superstar.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that we should be dictating the parameters of superstar because I'm working off industry definitely. We're defo due to pod today. We're getting into the industry definition of pod that was set up before us. So we're following the European method of this music industry. That's how they've set it. So the walk and the talk is kind of like them. It's only been as hip hop and R&B has grown into our shit in terms of culturally that we've added our own cultural veneer to it. But the model, the record label model is A, European, and B, I'm starting to realize naturally predatory at this point. Because I can't see many situations unless you're just giving in to an artist where you're busting them.
As in what? What do you mean?
I'm getting into some shit now. The record label industry is designed to make money, right?
Yep.
And there's got to be one way you make money. So as an artist, unless you're fully independent doing everything yourself, you need to give one thing up at least. That's why I said the stuff. And that's why I respect the Stormzy's and the Skeptas because they still have everything else. But it's a distribution, which they need. You need to get your message out there.
Yeah.
As people say, if a tree falls down in the woods and there's no one to see it, does it fall down?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't knock man for the distributor, but I think we need to get to the place in the next 15 to 20 years where we are the distributors.
Most definitely.
And that's when we can decide on our own terms, our metrics of superstardom, what type of music is pushed to the youth, and do you have to play certain games anymore? Do you understand what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's important.
Cause a lot of the stuff we're hearing now, I mean, I had a thought about this the other week, about the stuff that we actually celebrate and the stuff that we big up. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we can celebrate in terms of a lot more faces for us now, a lot more representation. There's a lot more things that are happening for our people now that's good. But then there's the thing of A, it's happening for individuals and not as a group.
A great point.
And then B, a lot of it's mediocre, bro.
Whose system are you operating in? And where, yes, there's more faces, but historically anyway, black faces in high places are more loyal to the high places than the other black faces. That's just a historical fact. And it's a shame it's like that because we've been programmed and wired to almost see a next man climbing up that looks like us and say, no, I don't want him here because it becomes too black. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's got to change. But that's because we're operating in this system. and that's why people often have the, I'm putting in commas, conspiracy of the Irv, Suge, J Prince distribution thing. That artists, well, there's rumors. First of all, it's like a union distribution where the labels, the black labels in hip hop, were gonna take back hip hop.
Okay.
But everyone involved in that, apart from a couple people, saw some kind of demise, which is interesting. They can do it. I think it's just, but I think it's still in a context of like who's making. I told you the labels have the power right now. You know, I hope you don't realize this. The labels are probably more in control. I can't say them before, but since the 2010s and streaming's begun, the labels have it on lock. Because either way, they're winning. You go through the old school artists who are heritage artists. All the heritage artists, yeah, catalogs for the most part belong to the label. So if you stream a bunch of old music, they're getting paid.
They're getting the money.
Now, if you get the newer artists, then they're having to sign either distribution deals or, worse all, they're signing these shit 360s where they're getting nothing and they're still getting paid.
When you said that, sorry, go back a bit. When you said the old, unless you bought your publishing back. Right?
Yeah, and that comes at a price, but you get it back, and that's the main thing because you own it. But that's a lot of work, and that happen. That happens to acts 10, 20, 30 years in the game. As in, and being honest, yeah, this is gonna be harsh as well. It's the main way people make money. It's the pub. Like, and
It's not live shows no more.
no, but that's being fair in someone's deal because you can take everything
Right.
and earn the most money.
Uh-huh.
So there's bare labels just taking everything.
Yeah.
Your live rights, your this right, your that right, and just fleecing somebody.
Yeah.
But even in a fair deal, you saw Mace, yeah. Mace spoke about it recently on his interview.
I haven't seen it, but no, I know
Yeah,
what you're talking
great. He brought facts and receipts. No one can even rescind what he was saying. He was bringing up. He had the phone call with the guy from the label who, and this is another point. What makes a superstar too is the relationships.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
important. We forgot that.
Hey,
Because
key.
Mace called a man from Bad Boys Street Team who's now head of this department at this label. You see how this works?
Yep.
You're good to people at the start. You can bring them. And he verified his story.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, you brought 5 years to the label and
Okay.
and he took everything except is either his masters or is the masters. Sorry, let me take that back and rephrase what I'm saying. The publishing he kept for my man, but it was his masters he kept, innit? Because the masters
As
of
if he's
the
taken
recording.
back his masters, or he's left the masters and he's got the publishing.
Masters is the masters of the recording. In fact, I'm gonna get a definition up as well. So I'm gonna say what I say afterwards. I'm gonna get.
What's his name? Ashanti's.
Of.
Nah. Like, I don't know how 20. I don't know how 20. I don't know how to. He was mad as well.
Nah, that's mad.
This is the Google definition, yeah?
Yeah.
In the music business, a master recording is the official original recording of a song, sound, or performance. Also referred to, as the masters. It is the source from which all the later copies are made. The original copies. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, the label has retained these rights, innit?
Yes.
Until the expiry of the copyright. That's why guys got bad deals because they were doing it, and the copyright laws are mad thing. That can be 20, 30, 40 years, blood.
Yeah. That's so. I was gonna say that is under like IP, your intellectual property.
Yes.
So that's one of them.
Teach them.
The other one is publishing. So that's the actual composition of it, not the actual recording, but the writing, either the music itself and the lyrics that you've put into it.
Yeah.
So whoever's contributed and written to the song, put the words in there, put the music, put the instruments. That's all comes under the publishing of it.
Yeah, that's important to know. So yeah, and that's why labels keep it because it's a guaranteed source of income.
Mm-hmm.
You should check your contract.
Yeah, check your contract and get not their lawyer.
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer.
Not theirs.
Not their lawyer. Don't take another man that say, "Oh, we suggest him," because obviously now it's law to say, "Oh, us lot will provide you an independent lawyer." That's still their brethren. Yeah.
Because they say they'll cover that cost because the lawyer ain't gonna be cheap.
Of course, it costs raccoons blood. That's what I'm saying. You got to be prepared for that, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
Also, what impacts musical superstardom is how in control of your career are you, your image, your likeness. Are you in control of that? Because in terms of artists who are newer like Meg, they're not so much in control like that. And this is not to dig at her. It's just that she'll get in control of that once she understands the business a bit more. Do you know what I mean?
How much of it do you want to control? Because there's a lot of aspects of just being a personality that you need to be in charge of. And to be in charge of that, to be just somebody that is the face of something that everyone all around the world will turn up, put their phones on and see, you got to be around 24/7.
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
That's why you need a team.
You need a good team around you.
You need a great team. And that's why I think in terms of Meg and Cardi have amazing teams.
Yeah.
That I think will help solve all those issues that they have now.
Mostly.
For the most part.
For the most part.
There's
a lot of things.
Yeah. But I think that's more... Bro, I'm starting to realise, us lot are in an era of just grab your phone, tweet. It's very reactionary. We're all reactionary and we're all impulsive. And that's what's happening. We're just becoming reactionary. And as soon as something happens, we got to film it, we got to see it, and there's no break to stop and pause and think. Do you know what I mean?
And this is this is mainly for the people in the industry. For just general population, I think we've been kind of programmed that way. Yeah. But even outside of that, if you're just in the business, it's not even just that you want to do it and you've been told to do it. Like you've just been, it's business. You have to do it. Yeah. Because you got to be on top of whatever's happening right now and capitalize off of that in some way or form.
Yep. No, 100. And I think those artists, in terms of the Cardis and the Meg, I think they'll both get there. They're just not there now. That's just my honest opinion.
Musically?
What, as musical superstars? If they can improve their music, yes. But if they're not, then hell no. They ain't getting that. Because if they keep doing this, what they're doing, they ain't getting that.
Nah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I don't think that will continue to sell as much. Because remember, there's now a shift, I think, in the culture. There's more lady rappers, ladies in hip-hop now, who are standing for something different. They're walking different, they're talking different, and they're now rapping about more shit. Do you know what I mean? There's a shift. Like, we have something to say.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's going to lead a new era of rappers. Don't get to it. There's still this generation of like the Megs, City Girl, Cardi generation. And there's going to be more of them.
Yeah.
Like it, love it, hate it, or dump it. It's there.
It's going to be there.
It's going to be there. But I think there's going to be a subsection to like offset that. Or I'm hoping so. This is just me postulating.
I would hope so too, but then I'd also think about the current superstars now that when they see this, because I feel like they're on a thing of not necessarily following trends, but they've got the personality that dictates, okay, this is what people now like. This is the kind of culture that subculture that they've cultivated. This is what the people like. Their team have gone, ooh, we're capitalizing off of that. Yeah. The youth them, they like when they do this, so we're gonna make a song about that. That's the kind of stuff that I'm seeing. So this other subculture that we're talking about now of women that want to talk their shit and talk real stuff, if the labels see that, are they going to react to the same way that they've been talking about how, the personalities have gone on and done a lot of the, I don't want to use the word ratchet, but that kind of thing? Are they going to see that and then go, ooh, we should have Meg or Cardi do that?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Wait, could you...
So their team, let's say like a Cardi B.
Yeah. They
come and they've seen, let's say, in fact, when you say the other rappers that are upcoming and they're talking the shit, who are you referring to actually?
The Dream Dolls, like the Latos, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Ruby Rose.
Is this the kind of rapper you're hoping to...
No, these are the rappers that are the current crop of doing that type of music.
Okay.
But when I'm talking about the other rappers...
Yeah.
AD London.
Okay.
And there's some more names. I got to think. I'm going to go through.
You say Rhapsody?
Rhapsody. She's not new though, but yeah.
Not new, yeah, but she's
part of that ilk.
Of that
Rhapsody,
ilk.
Sar Rock, Lady London. All them MCs that are providing a different message.
Different kind of message. So let's say that becomes a thing where it's popular, it's trending, the youths are like taking it in and they're like, we love this stuff. And let's say someone like Cardi B, her team has gone like, oh, we see what's happening for them. Do we capitalize off of that? Are they going to turn around and say we do that? Or are they going to be like, this isn't her image, this isn't what we want for her. We need to stick to her brand and make sure that she maintains this.
I think for one song, they might try it and see what happens. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't see them sticking to that because it's so left field.
As in, like, sticking to the subversion of what?
Going to where Rhapsody is, Lady Lund. It's such a subversion of character. And people love Cardi's fans love her. Meg's fans love her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? So regardless of how you think or feel about her, there's a section that love her to death.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? That's all that is. It's one of them ones. We ain't talk about Central C, you know.
Did we? Well, okay, cool. So
I think
this is your whole thing. We keep bantering about this guy and how he feels about Central C, but actually tell us about what you think. Because I remember there was an episode that we did while I wasn't there. Obviously, you did it with
all
Craig.
I've said is that he is, and remember, the UK musical superstar definition is different.
Uh-huh.
So I think he fits that at the moment.
What is that definition? How would you class it?
Ooh, sellout shows, shift culture.
Yeah.
Millions of views on songs. So if that's one numbers
at shows and online.
Yeah, I can't say persona because apart from a Dave and a Stormzy and a Huss, a lot of these UK rappers don't really have personas. And in terms of even Huss, who's a recluse, he isn't really much of. You know what I mean?
He has a persona though.
Yeah, he has
people
a persona.
recognize when he comes on Twitter and he's just tweeting.
But I think in general, just a presence. Yeah.
He has a presence. Yeah.
I think less so of that in terms of Central C. Us lot barely know him. I'll be real.
I mean, I don't because I don't follow him.
He's got songs where he talks about his mum and how hard it was at home. He had suicidal thoughts. Like, that's the songs that I like by him. But I think when he's doing that generic drill trap bullshit, I don't like it. And he sounds like every other rapper to me on that.
And what was the context of that specific conversation that you had with CJ where you were talking about
he's a top 3 artist during the lockdown period?
And then you said you weren't following him during that lockdown period.
I said I have to put him in there because of the impact, but I wasn't following him during that time. That's a fact. It's a fact. And I'm not a fan like that. I appreciate the songs when he gets in and makes me think and tells me about his life because I think he's dope. When he does that and raps with that flow, it's a subversion. I like it. But when he's rapping like everyone else, talking about the same shit, it's boring to me. And he's not the only one. He's just the biggest example for me. And he's leading a whole new generation of MCs.
Why is he the biggest example, actually?
Because he's the biggest and the most prominent and probably among the best rappers of them. He can rap. I'll give Central C that. He can rap.
I was going to say part of it was his team as well.
His team's great. His team's great. And that's why he's a superstar too. Because the whole Trap Star collab, everything makes sense. And big him up for... I've said this from the time we've spoken about him on camera, yeah? Big him up for him and his team for how they've positioned him. Because he deserves it in a sense of he's put in the work, the marketing work, and the songs connect, bro. Songs connect. How much did they connect compared to 3 or 4 years ago and the J House Culture Funds and all that era is a different question. But I may be talking.
But you're talking to a different generation.
A biased perspective because I was outside.
Would you say you're talking to a different generation? Because what's the demographic of people that he reaches?
Oh, Central C for the youth them. And I also say this a lot in general conversation. If I was 17, Central C would be the greatest artist like in the world right now. If I was 15, 16, 17, Central C would be the guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the mindset that he's rapping to.
Yeah.
And it isn't just road shit. I'm just talking about in general, the girls trying to be like viewing the life but not in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was my mindset. That's why I was listening to Reeks and B, K-Trap, all of them I was listening to. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just, at the time, he's got the youth them. The youth them are his. I think you just got to be careful with that responsibility and what that means. And I'm just giving a fair balance perspective. I'm not a massive fan of his music, but I think he's got songs that I like 100%.
Okay. So what you mentioned as well, with the facets of a UK superstar, numbers, shifting the culture.
Yep.
And then that was the main two. I think you mentioned persona, but it's not necessarily like they have to have that because you've only mentioned Stormzy, Dave, Huss. They're the main 3 that we know have the personality, but everyone else outside of it in that superstar bracket, they don't have.
Not in
that
the same way, no.
personality
Not really in the same way, in my opinion.
Who else can we name that's actually a superstar then?
In the UK?
In the UK.
It's a hard question. I gotta go through a list of names.
Because we could have gone through the names that are.
I think those three are the most.
They're the most prominent and most popular.
Stormzy and Dave, I think, are undeniable.
For sure.
Can we talk about the old school generation?
We can. I don't know too much about
Wretch,
that generation, but
Wretch is a superstar.
Did you reach superstar status?
Yeah, because he had songs like Tractor, Don't Go, Please.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He
I
had
remember
hits.
Off of that though, because then can we also talk about
No, but he did the groundwork too. So Wretch,
he did the groundwork, but then like the long, it's hard actually because then
You
it's
got
the UK,
longevity.
it's smaller, it's not.
People are gonna hate me for all these ones I'm gonna say, but they're all facts and you can't have them. Lethal Bizzle,
Okay.
Defo,
Yeah.
Tinchy Strider,
Yeah.
Dizzy Rascal,
Yes.
Wiley, bro, Wiley and Skepta.
Wiley and Skepta.
Yeah, I can't. I don't see how you can deny those names because what they did of national charting songs, and then on top of that, the street bangers, the shutdown shows.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they didn't get the chance to do because the music industry wasn't there yet. Just imagine if they were operating in their prime in this current infrastructure, they'd all be flying. You can see it in terms of Skepta because he's kept at the music, and he hasn't been blocked or hasn't blocked himself, depending on perspective. Don't get me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's important.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the names that. Sims is Sims just Sims. Yeah.
I think. Hey, wait. Yeah.
Pulitzer Prize winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's nah. If I'm not even yes.
And been putting in the
Yeah.
work.
Nah. Lil Sims is a superstar. Yeah. Now is Miss Banks.
No. Has Miss Banks actually she hasn't got an album out yet, has she? It's just tapes.
Yeah.
It's just tapes. I don't know if she's.
By the way, we love Miss Banks.
We love and appreciate.
We love
you.
Miss Banks. This is just an interesting conversation.
I don't know if she's. Wait, I don't know if Miss Banks is actually gearing up to do an album. I don't know.
Is she, JJ?
I love you, Miss Banks.
Yeah, same.
I say on mad, bro.
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
Hey, yo, JJ. yo. Is Miss Banks a UK rap superstar?
No, she's still got potential. I know there's more in her.
There's more in her.
100%
more in her.
I feel like there needs to be.
I think she's near though.
Yeah.
She's probably the closest among the new crop of women.
Yeah.
She's the closest.
Yeah.
She's closest. I think. I don't think
But
that's
I
it.
feel like there's something she's gonna land. I feel like the haymaker's not been. She hasn't hit her haymaker yet. But when it comes,
It's gonna be a long day.
that one bang.
It's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a mad thing.
See how Steph is now.
Is Steph one?
Yeah.
I think Steph is one.
Do you? Is it? Really?
Nah, she got
Nah, yeah.
collabs.
She's got. Yeah.
Ooh. Nah, wait. I can't lie.
UK female.
I can't lie.
Who else is up there?
If well,
That's true.
Well, I already said Sims.
Yeah.
Sims is defo there.
Yeah.
If Steph is there, Banks is close, you know.
Yeah.
Banks say if Banks isn't, she's like a great album away from being there. There's other names, yeah, of like the Headies, AJs, the Tions. What are we saying for them?
No, yeah. I don't think so.
I think for Tion, if he gets one more full album, yeah.
Yeah. The closest out of those names, I think.
Heady needs another proper album. AJ,
Has he only got one so far?
I think he's got. This tape and album thing is mad
It's
confusing.
messy. It's messy.
One album, Edna.
Yeah.
One more. In fact, one more album and a solid like festival run, shelling it again.
Yeah, but he could do a few solid festival runs.
Oh yeah, now he will. I'm just saying when he does it. Do you know what I mean? We got into some ish on this episode.
It was a real nice one.
Yeah, and I think most of it we're gonna keep in. I think so.
Oh, for sure. Nah.
I feel
Everything
like
we talked about now, that was something that people can look at and learn from.
Hopefully,
100%. There was just love and positive energy in this episode. There was no negativity. No one was sending for nobody.
Oh, there was beforehand.
Raw.
It's like that.
Man said internally.
I told you, Zen L is on the microphone and on camera today.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Get me. As I was saying, yeah, it's been your boy L Ants RBG. RBG.
In the
And you
building.
mean in the place to be.
Tell them.
Come on.
Tell them.
LL Cool A, Grand Verbalizer LA. Oh man. Lost African in a Babylon. Come on, we're there, man. We're signing out. And obviously, LA.
No one and only.
Man, them, who are you? Tell the people them.
Ayo. Smoothest voice from the west side. Music, stories,
Ah.
podcasts.
Dog.
No.
Labrador.
My mom's gonna watch this. What you doing, man?
Mama, no.
Oh no.
Hey yo, I go by the name of Jerry the Kid.
Jerry the what?
Return of the Kids.
Come on.
You know what's good.
And JJ, quick sign up for them. Come on. We're working.
Working.
Had to shout. But yeah.
Boys over there.
Tired. Look at them trainers looking all tired.
I'm dead.
And guess what we are?
I'm high.
Stepped in, bullied. Suspect. Yeah, I can't lie. Like and subscribe for Pierre Entertainment. You just saw that on the fly entertainment. We do this.
Come on.
Subscribe, bruv.
Each
like,
and every
bruv.
time. EXP.
To the world and bizarre.
We
are.
are.
Come on.